Okay, you guys, so I have a big announcement. Here's my new truck. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to be showing you my experience taking delivery of my new truck. It's a pretty crazy story how I got to this point, but stay tuned to find out all the details. So here it is, guys, my new pickup truck. This is a 2020 Tacoma TRD Pro. As you can see, I went with the army green color. I just think it looks so good on this truck. I'd really like to see this interior. I've never sat in a TRD Pro with the manual. That's right. After much debate, I decided to go for the manual transmission. There it is. Yeah, I test drove one of those Tacoma Off-Roads 2020 with the manual, and I really enjoyed that. So
the stick shift has a beautiful gait to it.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It really shifts nice.
Yes.
I need to adjust the seat here to get comfortable. Oh yeah, this is gonna be nice. As nice as the automatic transmission is, there's just something about the manual transmission. You really can't find it in trucks nowadays, and I just think it's so much more enjoyable to drive. Tacomas with the manual transmission are very rare. I found out that when I bought this truck, there were only 3 others for sale across the country in this configuration. And by the end of that day, it was down to only 2. So what were you saying about the allocations for this truck?
Yeah, so basically, you and I talked earlier, and we were talking about Toyota 2 months on and 2 months off of the Army Green. I actually talked to my district manager. They're 2 months off of Army Green right now, right? So 4 in the country received this Army Green here in a manual transmission, 2 of which had the snorkel, 2 of which did not. As you can see, ours did not. So, I mean, you could be looking at a limited production of these Army Greens in general.
So I finally was able to buy the truck that I wanted, but there was just one little issue. All right, you guys, so here's the situation. I made it to the dealership. It took me a little over 4.5 hours to get here, but I can't take the truck home today. The department that does the transit plates is closed. They closed at 5. I got here around 5:30, so we got all the papers signed. The truck is officially mine, but we have to wait until Monday to get it all finalized, so. I was really hoping to take this home tonight, but we'll just have to wait.
3 days later.
It ended up working out because I had them undercoat the truck over the weekend, and I also had them put a special protective coating on the outside as well as on the inside of the truck. Something interesting about the manual Tacoma is that you get a regular key, so you don't have the push button start, but if you'd ask me, that's a small price to pay to have a manual transmission. This is the first time I'm driving my new truck. All right, here we go. Getting this truck onto the road for the first time, I realized just how much of a difference the lift kit makes. I feel like I have a more commanding view of the road. Driving this truck home was a 300-mile trip, so I was able to get a pretty good feel for everything by the end of the trip. I have so many positive things to say about this truck, but if there had to be one negative thing, it would be the gas mileage. I found out just how bad it really is. I was getting anywhere from 16 to 17 miles per gallon. Maybe this is just the break-in period and it'll get a little bit better, but I'm not so sure. But other than that, there are so many positive things I have to say about this truck, but that will have to wait until a future video. Alright, you guys, so I made it back safe and sound. It was a long trip, 4.5 hours, 300 miles, but it was well worth it, and I enjoyed every minute driving this manual transmission. I am so glad I went with the manual. So I've got to tell you how I got this truck. I had an order placed through Toyota of Worcester, and nothing against Toyota of Worcester, they're still a good dealership, but unfortunately they weren't going to be able to get my order in until a couple months at the earliest. Fortunately, I was able to find this dealership, Labadee, Bay City, Michigan. They had this manual transmission. It was the exact spec that I wanted. So I gave them a call and they were really easy to deal with. They helped me get the truck. I put a deposit down, made the trip up there, and I couldn't be more than happy, guys. I am so glad that I got the manual. I can't stress it enough. And don't get me wrong, nothing against automatic transmissions, but for me, nothing beats a manual. When I went to purchase this truck, the dealership was explaining to me there were only 4 of the manual transmissions currently listed at dealerships around the country. One of them was in Ohio, but I called them too late and they had sold it the day I called. And then this was the second closest dealership in Bay City, Michigan, about 4.5 hours from me. But it was well worth the trip, I can say that. I have a lot of plans for this truck. I think it's gonna be a blast to drive in the wintertime, especially with the manual transmission. I've never had a four-wheel drive vehicle before, so at some point here I'll have a full review on this truck. I know I did one on the automatic before, but there are some differences with the manual transmission, so stay tuned for that. It'll be out before long. That's really all I have to say for now, guys. I'm just so glad that I didn't have to wait until next year to get this truck. So if you like this new truck, consider subscribing. I also have an Instagram. You can check that out. There's a link below. And yeah, that's really gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Neo Auto, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.